rendre le Canada plus abordable chez nous, plus sécuritaire chez nous et plus fort chez nous. Tout le monde devrait pouvoir se déplacer et faire le plein à bas prix. On veut que les parents puissent faire un plein d'essence sans stress avant d'aller reconduire leurs enfants à l'aréna. On veut que les aînés puissent faire le plein pour aller visiter leurs petits-enfants. On veut que nos entrepreneurs, comme les entrepreneurs en construction, puissent aller bâtir des logements abordables dans leurs camions avec un prix de l'essence et de diesel abordable pour eux. Pendant les 10 dernières années, M. Carney a supporté toutes les politiques des libéraux qui ont gonflé le coût de la vie pour les Canadiens. Donc, après 10 ans des libéraux, le Canada n'est plus abordable. Le Canada est maintenant l'un des pays où le coût est le plus cher pour se loger et pour faire l'épicerie. Pendant la dernière élection, Mark Carney a promis qu'il allait faire volte-face et renverser toutes les positions et les politiques que lui et son parti avaient supportées pendant 10 longues années. Mais c'était une illusion. M. Carney a promis que le Canada allait avoir l'économie avec la croissance le plus élevée dans le G7. La réalité, c'est qu'on est la seule économie qui recule en PIB dans le G7. On a la pire inflation alimentaire dans le G7. Les familles les plus endettées dans le G7. Le coût du logement le plus élevé dans le G7 et le deuxième pire chômage dans le G7. Les grands discours et des séances de photos de M. Carney à l'international, ça ne fait pas baisser le prix de l'essence chez nous. Et ça ne vous permet pas de remplir votre panier d'épicerie ici, chez nous. Les grands discours ne sont qu'une illusion. Le prix élevé de l'essence et du panier d'épicerie, c'est la réalité, chez nous. Depuis le mois dernier, le prix de l'essence a augmenté de 35 % partout au Canada. C'est vrai, cette hausse est liée aux guerres en Iran. Ça, c'est la cause récente dans le court terme. Mais la cause de cette augmentation de prix à long terme, c'est les taxes libérales chez nous. Regarde, vous pouvez voir la différence entre le prix moyen au Canada hier par rapport aux États-Unis, les deux mesurés dans les dollars canadiens. Donc, si c'était juste des effets mondiaux, on aurait le même prix aux États-Unis qu'au Canada. Mais en réalité, on voit un prix beaucoup plus élevé ici chez nous à cause des taxes. En plus, aujourd'hui, c'est 1,83 $ le litre encore. Notre pancart sous-estime le prix que les Canadiens paient. C'est les taxes libéraux qui ajoutent ces coûts. La taxe d'assises de 10 sous le litre, la taxe sur les carburants qui ajoute 7 sous le litre, et le TPS qui s'applique non seulement au prix de l'essence, mais aussi aux autres taxes. Donc, c'est une taxe sur une taxe sur une taxe sur une taxe. Aujourd'hui, je demande aux libéraux de Mark Carney de suspendre toutes les taxes sur l'essence jusqu'à la fin de l'année. Ça va permettre aux Canadiens d'économiser 25 sous le litre, 20 $ pour remplir leur tank et 1 200 $ par année. Et on demande au gouvernement de financer notre proposition en éliminant les dépenses inutiles, comme le TGV libéral de 90 milliards de $, le programme de confiscation des armes des chasseurs, des fermiers et des tireurs sportifs, les dépenses sur les consultants, la bureaucratie, l'ABS coopérative, l'aide à l'étranger et les bonbons pour des faux réfugiés. Parce que la mission des conservateurs, c'est de rendre le Canada plus abordable chez nous, plus sécuritaire chez nous et plus fort chez nous. Conservatives here today have a mission. We want to make our country affordable at home, safe at home, and strong at home. We want our seniors to be able to fill their tanks to go and visit their wonderful grandchildren worry-free. We want parents who work as chauffeurs on the weekend to know that after they leave the arena, they still have enough money to go and buy pizza for the winning team. We want our welders, renovators, and landscapers to know that they can take on construction jobs to help build affordable homes while filling up their trucks to do it affordably. Abundant, affordable energy is the lifeblood of a muscular, growing economy that with stronger take-home pay and lower prices. It empowers factories to move parts, mills to ship logs for affordable homes, truckers to bring us our food, clothing, and other needs at low prices. It means happy people with the freedom to go where they want and afford the delicious food they enjoy. When our dollar buys more energy, our lives go further. But our dollar buys less and less each day the Liberals are in power. After 11 years of Liberals, what we used to take for granted has become totally unaffordable. High Liberal taxes on fuel, money printing, red tape have given us the worst housing inflation and grocery price inflation in the G7. It's pushed millions to food banks, with usage doubling over the last 7 years under the Liberals. Liberal debt taxes and gatekeeping doubled the rent and housing costs, and Mark Carney supported every single one of these policies. Now, in the last election, he promised that he and his party would flip-flop on everything that he had said and they had done for a decade, but it was all an illusion. Mr. Carney said he would spend less. He's spending 7% more than Justin Trudeau. He's doubled the deficit. In fact, outside of COVID, government spending is now higher than at any time in 30 years, and Mr. Carney's deficit is the biggest in history. He said he would get rid of bureaucracy. In fact, he hasn't eliminated a single agency. He's added 12 new ones. He promised that Canada would have the fastest growing economy in the G7. He's given us the only shrinking economy in the G7. The highest household debt in the G7. The worst food price inflation in the G7. The worst housing costs in the G7. The second highest unemployment in the G7. Carney promised to be first. He delivered the worst. He told Canadians that he would build at unimaginable speeds. Nearly a year later, home building is flat, and his own housing agency expects it will drop 18%. Meanwhile, despite Parliament rushing him incredible, unprecedented legal powers to fast-track projects, he's not used those powers to approve a single solitary project. Not a single pipeline is approved. Not only that, the much-discussed pipeline to the Pacific is not only not approved, it has no start date, no route, no builder. The only company that says it might be able to build such a project says that existing Liberal laws and taxes, which Mr. Carney keeps in place, make it effectively impossible to ever produce enough oil to put in that pipeline. Another illusion. People can't fill their tanks with Mark Carney's overseas speeches or fill their grocery carts with his photo ops. They can't eat his press releases, announcements, re-announcements, or fake MOUs. Illusions fill our heads. They don't fill our gas tanks or our grocery carts. Since last month, gas prices have risen 35% across Canada. Now, to be clear and to be fair, the recent increase in gas prices is the result of the war in Iran, but the long-term high costs in Canada are the result of Liberal taxes. And if you want proof of that, look to the fact that gas prices in Canada today are approximately, if you look behind me at this chart, $1.78 versus $1.50 in the U.S. 28 cents higher in Canadian dollars in Canada versus the U.S. You cannot explain that through global factors alone. That is a result of high Liberal taxes and the weak dollar Mr. Carney has given us. Liberals tax Canadians again and again and again for fuel. There's the 10 cent a litre excise tax. Then there's the 7 cent a litre fuel standard tax. Then there is the GST, which actually collects more money for the government the more gas prices go up. And it is a tax not only on the fuel, but on the other taxes, a tax on a tax on a tax on a tax. Mark Carney did not get rid of the carbon tax. He renamed it. He called it the fuel standard. And this week, he told Canadians that he is closely following the rising gas prices. Mr. Carney, no more following. It's time to lead. Lead for affordable gas, groceries, and homes. That's why today I'm calling on the government to suspend all fuel taxes for the rest of the year. A policy that would save 25 cents a litre, about $20 a fill-up, and $1,200 for the average family of four between now and the end of the year. We call on the government to fund this zero tax on gas proposal by cutting wasteful spending, end the $90 billion Alto train disaster, cut back on consultants, bureaucracy, handouts to fake refugees, foreign aid, and bureaucracy. Get rid of the multi-billion-dollar gun grab that targets law-abiding hunters, farmers, and sports shooters. Think about it. Mark Carney has increased spending by $90 billion in 1 year. His increase in spending of $90 billion is net and above and beyond the spending that Trudeau had projected. For 1/20th of that cost, he could eliminate all taxes on fuel, something that would save $5.25 billion for Canadians across this country. Now, other countries have done it. Thank you. She wants her tax cut on gas. Good folks. Thank you. There's someone who wants to pay less for gas. And the Australians are. Look, Australia cut their excise tax, reducing the price by 26 cents. Spain cut their sales tax on gas, 30 cents a litre lower. Ireland cut its excise tax by 20 cents a litre and 20 cents for diesel, 15 cents for gasoline. While other countries are scrapping taxes on fuel and diesel, Carney is hiking the industrial carbon tax and the fuel standard tax. We need not only to do this to lower your cost at the pumps, but to lower everything else. If you got it, a truck brought it. Every single thing you buy has to be transported by truck and train using fuel. By cutting the fuel tax, you lower the cost of everything and make paychecks go further. Conservatives will lower the cost of government to lower the cost of living. We will live within our means, leave more in your pockets, and let you get ahead. We'll unblock our resources, greenlight major projects that are privately funded, and we'll deliver stronger take-home pay for Canadian workers, all to make Canada affordable at home, safe at home, and strong at home. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll now take questions from reporters. Please identify yourself and your outlet. One question each, please.
Good morning, Mr. Poilievre. Stephanie Taylor here with the National Post. When it comes to the Alto train project, why didn't your party try to stop this project and specifically the expropriation changes the government made in its Budget Implementation Act? Why didn't your party try to stop this when it had the chance to in Parliament?
We oppose the $90 billion Alto Rail project. We think that it's a waste of money. It's going to drive up the cost of living. Taxes are going to be higher. It will cost every family $8,000 in higher taxes for a project that they will not use. It will ruin communities, many of whom will see the train tear apart land, even though the local residents will not be able to use it, and because the stations are not anywhere close to where they live. So that is why we oppose it, and we've opposed it throughout. We've opposed these kinds of measures throughout the process, and we will continue to oppose it. If when I become Prime Minister, Conservatives will cancel this project and use the money to lower the cost of living, the inflation, the debt, and the taxes.
Hi, I'm Aya Dufour with iPolitics. Initially, when the U.S. began its attacks on Iran, you were somewhat supportive of it. What's your position on the conflict today, given that, as you say, it's the primary reason why we're seeing fuel prices go up?
Thank you very much. Mr. Carney supported the attack on Iran, and I agreed with him on that. We believe that the theocratic dictatorship in Iran cannot be allowed to get nuclear weapons, that it would be a risk to all of us, particularly if they had intercontinental ballistic missiles. This regime has killed 55 Canadian citizens, 30 Canadian permanent residents when it shot down PS Flight 752. They have, according to Global News, 700 agents working against Canada on Canadian soil. So our hope, we believe that it's necessary for Iran never to have nuclear weapons, that the people of Iran should be allowed to rise up, reclaim their country, and bring about a democracy. And were that to happen, that we as a world would be a much safer place. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Rafi Bujikani on CBC News. If you were Prime Minister, what would you do about securing the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, the first thing I would do, why does the Strait of Hormuz matter? Because it's a shipping lane for energy. The most important thing we as Canadians could do is right here at home, which is to unblock our own energy. Frankly, our dollar should be at par today because oil prices are so high. But because Liberals have been attacking our energy sector, oil and gas is a much smaller part of our economy, and we're no longer insulated against global fluctuations in energy prices. I would eliminate Liberal laws like C-69 that keep oil in the ground. I would remove the shipping ban off the northwest coast of BC. I'd end the Liberal industrial carbon tax. I would move to 6-month permitting, and I would make, my goal would be to massively increase production and shipping of Canadian oil and gas. I'd also bring in a energy and minerals reserve so that when these kinds of crises strike, Canadians can sell our oil on the world market to reduce prices for consumers at the same time as we profit from the high prices that foreign economies are paying. That's how we will become affordable at home, strong at home, and have unbreakable leverage abroad.
Oui, bonjour, Monsieur Poilievre, Laurence Martin, Radio-Canada. Juste pour poursuivre sur la question de mon collègue, j'entends très bien ce que vous voulez faire ici au pays, mais pour le détroit d'Ormuz, est-ce que vous pensez que c'est une bonne idée, oui ou non, pour le Canada d'intervenir, par exemple, aux côtés d'autres pays comme la Grande-Bretagne ou la France?
Merci de la question. Premièrement, je vais juste répéter ce que j'ai dit en anglais, après quoi je vais m'adresser à
ma question, oui,
oui,
ça serait super.
oui. Tout d'abord, pourquoi est-ce que les détroits d'Ormuz est important? C'est parce que c'est une voie pour transporter l'énergie. La chose que le Canada peut faire qui est le plus important, c'est de produire plus de gaz et de pétrole ici au Canada pour pouvoir offrir l'approvisionnement dans des crises. Historiquement, le Canada était à l'abri des augmentations du prix du pétrole parce que ça arrivait en même temps que d'augmentation dans notre dollar à cause de notre pétrole. Les libéraux ont attaqué notre secteur pétrolier pendant 10 ans et c'est pour ça que notre secteur est plus faible. Notre dollar est très faible maintenant, en même temps que le pétrole est très élevé. C'est pour ça que les Canadiens paient plus pour tout, la nourriture et l'essence. On devrait massivement augmenter notre production de l'énergie en éliminant les lois libéraux qui empêchent notre production. C-69, C-48 pour légaliser l'exportation de notre énergie du côté de la Colombie-Britannique, éliminant la taxe sur le carbone industriel, produire plus de l'énergie et avoir une réserve de pétrole et des minéraux ici chez nous. Ça nous rendrait plus forts chez nous, plus abordables chez nous et maîtres chez nous. En ce qui concerne les détroit d'Ormuz, on n'a pas eu une demande spécifique. Il faut regarder ce que l'OTAN, nos alliés, les États-Unis et les autres pays demandent du Canada, regarder nos capacités et après quoi décider s'il y a quelque chose qu'on peut faire. Après 10 années des libéraux, notre militaire n'a pas des moyens. Les libéraux ont gaspillé de l'argent sur la bureaucratie, des éléphants blancs, les délais, et c'est pour ça que nos capacités de contribuer dans les crises mondiales est maintenant limitée. Donc, il faut recevoir une demande spécifique et décider si on est capable de répondre à cette demande. Merci. Quelle idée? Ça dépend de ce qu'ils demandent. On ne sait pas ce qu'ils demandent à ce moment. Donc, je ne peux pas répondre à une idée qui n'est pas connue. Sorry? So, we can't respond to a request that we haven't received. We need to know exactly what NATO, our allies, are asking for before we can determine whether we have the capability to provide it. After 10 years of Liberals mismanaging and weakening our military, our capacities to help in situations like this have been severely limited. So we have to find out what our allies are asking for and compare it with the abilities we have to deliver.
Bonjour, Olivier Boissé de TVA. Je me demandais si dans cet élan sur les taxes sur l'essence, vous allez aussi jusqu'à demander au gouvernement du Québec de se retirer de la bourse du carbone.
Oui, absolument. Évidemment, c'est un choix pour les Québécois, mais je suis 100% d'accord avec Éric Duhem qui veut éliminer la taxe carbone au Québec. Au Québec, ça coûte maintenant 2 $ le litre, en même temps qu'aux États-Unis, c'est l'équivalent de $1,50 dans les dollars canadiens. Ça n'a pas de bon sens. Les Québécois payent trop à la pompe. C'est pour ça que je propose d'éliminer toutes les taxes au niveau fédéral et j'encourage tous les politiciens au Québec d'éliminer la taxe carbone et permettre aux Québécois d'avoir un prix plus bas, pas seulement pour l'essence et le diesel, mais aussi pour les épiceries et les autres produits livrés par des camions.
Good morning, Raisa Patel, the Toronto Star. You recently returned from a trip to the United States. What were you texting the Prime Minister about while you were there, and have you had any discussions with him since your return?
So before I left, I informed the Prime Minister I was going. I promised to keep him apprised of conversations I had with American business, politicians, and leaders to support our shared objective of defeating tariffs and restoring free trade in our continent. So as I had numerous meetings, I would send him short messages to let him know what findings I came away with. And I'm hoping that we're going to speak, I think it's today or tomorrow, we're supposed to speak on the phone, and I'm going to give him a greater update. When it's convenient for both of us, we'll sit down and I'll give him some information. But basically, we as Canadians have a common objective here. We want tariff-free trade with our biggest customer. We want to fight for Canadian jobs, Canadian consumers, and the Canadian economy. Hi there.
Scarlett Grace with Rebel News. There was a tweet put out by your Shadow Minister for Immigration on Iran and asylum seekers. And I just wanted clarification if you believe that the Iranian people are net abusers of the asylum system, or if you were being more specific to people associated with the regime in Iran, the IRGC. Could you just clarify?
No, the people of Iran are not the problem. We welcome Persian people to our country. We've been very blessed to have a very large Persian population come here. Almost all of them are fleeing from this dictatorial and repressive regime, and we're made stronger by that. We are very outraged, though, that IRGC terrorists have been able to get into our country because of the very poor screening that the Liberal government has applied. So you have, for example, according to Global News, wow, it's very loud, sorry. You have 700 IRGC officials on our streets. Iranian Canadians are telling me they go to the gym and they see thugs from the Iranian regime who are working out there. They're living in mansions that they paid for using money they stole from the Iranian people. They're terrorizing people in Canada. The police have said that there's a homicide investigation now open because an Iranian human rights activist went missing in Canada. It's now being considered a potential homicide. So what I want to do is stop, especially now we want to make sure that regime thugs do not come in through the weak Liberal borders to harass Persians, Jews, and other Canadians. And what we should do is find every regime thug who's here as a visitor, and we should deport them from Canada to protect our wonderful Persian, Jewish, and overall Canadian populations. Thank you.
Graham Richardson, CTV. Let's just assume they're not going to do this. They're not going to go to zero for 2026. A couple of questions. First of all,
don't be so pessimistic.
Well,
Graham.
you
Come
know,
on.
you know. First of all,
he's gotten so cynical over the years.
What's the cost if they did that for the year 2026? If you could clarify that. And do you view this as like you mentioned the other countries that have done something? Is it success for you if they do something on one of the taxes? If it's unrealistic to say to go to zero.
Thanks, Graham. The lower the better. So every penny that we can get reduced in taxes is a penny in the pockets of the people who earned it. You asked about the cost. I like to describe it as a savings. It's $5.25 billion in savings for Canadians. Now, I've already identified some areas that I think we can use to pay for it. Let's get rid of the $90 billion Alto project. Let's get rid of the gun buyback that is targeting law-abiding farmers, hunters, and sport shooters. Mr. Carney's brought in $90 billion of net new spending measures above and beyond his promised savings and beyond what Trudeau was already spending. So what I'm saying is for basically 1/20 of that, he could eliminate all taxes on fuel. The problem is that the government is too rich and the people are too poor. It's time to have the government pinch its pennies so that Canadians don't have to. Thanks, Graham.
We have time for one final question.
Oui, juste en français, la question c'était ça coûte combien au gouvernement d'éliminer les taxes sur l'essence et diesel. Je le présente comme une économie de 5,25 milliards de dollars. En même temps, j'ai proposé des économies du gouvernement afin de payer pour ça, éliminant les TGV de 90 milliards de dollars, le rachat des armes à feu, des chasseurs, des tireurs sportifs et des fermiers. Et rappelons que M. Carney a introduit 90 milliards de dollars de dépenses supplémentaires nettes au-dessus de ce que M. Trudeau avait en place. Pour un 20e de ce coût, il peut éliminer toutes les taxes sur l'essence. Donc, moi, je crois que le gouvernement devrait dépenser moins pour laisser davantage dans les poches de nos consommateurs. Merci.
Final question.
Sarah Ritchie with the Canadian Press. I just want to follow up on my colleague's earlier question about the Alto project, because when the budget implementation bill was going through the House of Commons, your party actually voted against a clause that implements this project and then said, oops, that was a mistake, and voted for it. So I'm trying to understand what changed between then and now.
Nothing. We're against this project. $90 billion boondoggle. It will be a big white elephant. If it even happens at all, it will take till 2037 for it to be completed, over 12 years from now, during which time Liberal insiders, consultants, bureaucrats, companies, insiders will be getting rich at the expense of Canadian taxpayers. So we're against the $90 billion boondoggle, and we will oppose it. Well, we don't have the ability to block projects in Parliament where we're not in government, but we will fight it every step of the way. We have a minority of the seats in the House of Commons. We can't block sections of the budget, so. The reality is all Conservatives oppose this $90 billion boondoggle. And the mistake is the money that Mark Carney and the Liberals are spending on a project that they probably will never even get done.
Thank you. That concludes today's press conference.
Excellent. Thank you very much, everyone. Good to see you.